84 degrees as we speak, and it's going to be moving into the low 90s they're expecting. The hot day is tomorrow, and it'll be another day game. Same time here from Coors Field in Denver tomorrow as the Brewers get ready to wrap up their road trip. And it got started in a good way here in Denver last night. The Brewers picking up the win. They pounded out 16 hits last night and 9 runs. And they are hoping for more of the same here today. Now the Brewers snapped their 6-game losing streak last night. Craig Counsell checking that lineup card. Made his big league debut with the Rockies in '95. He wasn't here long. He was up and down briefly and then traded to the Marlins, but he is still very connected to this organization, especially their manager, Walt Weiss. Craig Counsell said he patterned his game after Walt Weiss once he finally made it to the big leagues. Here's Craig Counsell's batting order today. It is brought to you by Potawatomi. Gene Segura leads off. Gerardo Parra bats second. Batting third is Ryan Braun. In the middle of the order, it is Adam Lynn, Shane Peterson, Scooter Gennett, and the bottom three, Hernan Perez over at third base. Martin Maldonado will do the catching today, and Kyle Loesch on the mound, hoping to get his season turned around at some point. He has really struggled this year. On the mound for the Colorado Rockies is Chad Bettis, and he is just back into the starting rotation this season for the Rockies. And Rock, he's a guy that's going along pretty well for Colorado right now, one of the few.
Yeah, well, he had a great month of May. I mean, May was a good month for him, 2-0 at 296 earned run average. And anytime you have an ERA under 3 and you pitch a lot here at Coors Field, that's pretty good. That was 4 starts in May. He's lost 2 straight. He got beat by the Cardinals, and Houston beat him, in Texas. The last 2 starts combined, 10 innings pitched, 8 earned runs. So he's been on a bit of a slide right now. Hopefully the Brewers can take advantage of that.
He had back-to-back terrific starts against the Giants and the Cardinals. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. It is brought to you by Menards. And, Rock, they have one of the great talents in the game at third base in Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We saw that in yesterday's ball game. But 3 guys new to the starting lineup from yesterday. No Tulowitzki. You've got Daniel Descalso at first base, Willeen Rosario at first, and Nick Hundley sitting this one out. Michael McHenry, the former Pirate catcher, behind home plate today.
There's the crew chief today of the umpiring crew. That is Bill Miller. He's working third base today after he had the plate last night. Doug Eddings calls the balls and strikes, and we are underway in Denver, Colorado. Gene Segura takes ball 1. Segura back in that leadoff spot, and Parra to follow. The Brewers are still without Carlos Gomez. Brewers are debating whether to put Gomez on the disabled list or not. He's been doing a lot of extra work before the games to push that injured hip. And if they determine by the time the Brewers arrive at Miller Park Tuesday to start that series with the Mets that he is not improved, then you'll probably see Gomez on the disabled list, and they'll backdate it.
Yeah, not a bad idea anyway, right? He hasn't been able to play. The Brewers right now playing a bit short-handed.
Well, Segura getting the call at shortstop once again, and back in that leadoff spot. Not a guy that walks a whole lot. He's only walked 6 times this year. Counsell really doesn't have that prototypical leadoff hitter with Gomez out of the lineup. I wouldn't even call him prototypical leadoff, but he is typically the guy.
Yeah, what is anymore, really? I mean, gone are the days where you have your leadoff hitter with a 375 or better on base percentage. You just don't see that anymore. Well, Segura can get on base, he shoots the ball all over the field, and he can run.
And the way he swings the bat is usually indicative of how the Brewers go as a team. In wins, Segura has a batting average over 300. Matter of fact, he's hitting 309 in Brewer wins this season. In losses, he's hitting just 250. He can be a real igniter in that Brewers lineup. How about those numbers at Coors Field? He had a 2-homer game here last year.
Everybody's a power hitter here. We saw that in yesterday's game. Either home runs or triples. A lot of room in the gaps here. Outfielders get their running in this ballpark.
A good long battle here for Segura. Segura had 2 hits last night. Had an infield hit and an RBI in last night's game.
So a lot of baseballs got shot in those gaps in yesterday's game. Doubles, triples. This is a very good triples ballpark. Second best in all of baseball.
And down goes Segura. Well, he might have chased a ball, but he swings and misses, and that's how the game begins for Chad Bettis.
Yeah, Bettis will feature 4 pitches. He's got a fastball that will touch 95, and there's a slider off the outside corner. He's got a changeup and a curveball to go with it. So a 4-pitch mixer, they call it. Mixes it up particularly when there's men on base.
That'll bring up Gerardo Parra with 1 away. Great to have you with us today, wherever you're watching us. Day baseball on a Saturday, always fun. And beautiful, abundant sunshine here this afternoon. The Brewers will do it again with the Rockies tomorrow at 2 o'clock local time. We're on the air in Milwaukee and in the Central Time Zone at 2:30. It's a 3:10 first pitch in the Central Time Zone, and then the Brewers will head home after the game, taking Monday off, and then starting a homestand with the New York Mets, the first place New York Mets.
Yep, Mets and Twins coming into Miller Park.
0-2 pitch to Parra, slaps one foul.
Take a guess. You think the ball's going to carry pretty well today?
Man, is it ever, right?
It's hot, day game, wind blowing out, ever so gently out to left field. Not that hitters need any help in this ballpark, but we expect it's going to fly today.
It certainly flew last night as Parra dumps one into center field, a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Gerardo Parra continues his hitting ways. This guy's been something else. His 15th multi-hit game last night, and he's off to a good start today. Ryan Braun's in our T-Mobile game-changing spotlight today. Ryan Braun starting a plate appearance, starting an at-bat. How about this? 8 home runs on the first pitch of his 14 this season,
including last night's home run.
And he's hitting .528 batted balls in play on the first pitch. So let's see if he's gunning away here. He is, and he sends one high in the air. Coming in, the center fielder Blackman. And Braun is retired on that first pitch this time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with swinging at the first pitch. I mean, you could be about as selective as you want to be on the first pitch. So no surprise, you swing at the first pitch, you're going to get a good pitch that you like, and you're going to hit it hard somewhere. The deeper you get into the count, the less selective you can be.
2 away for Adam Lind. The former Blue Jay had the day off yesterday with the left-handed starter De La Rosa on the mound. And no pinch hit appearance for Lind yesterday. Had the full day off. 6 for 10 against Colorado this year. The Brewers played the Rockies in the first series of the season at Miller Park. And the Rockies swept Milwaukee.
Brewers have had their way with the Rockies here in Colorado as of late. Won 4 straight.
Yeah, 5 of their last 6. Swept them last year. Parra on the run, and it pops out of the glove of McHenry, and Parra steals second base, and that'll be a matchup the Brewers hope to exploit today with Michael McHenry behind the plate.
Yeah, the Brewers used to run wild against the Pirates with McHenry behind home plate. Not the best throwing catcher in the big leagues, although he could swing the bat pretty well. Trying to be a little bit too quick, just not able to get the handle.
Puts a runner in scoring position for Adam Lind. Now, there was a game a few years back when McHenry was catching for the Pirates. The Brewers stole 6 bases in a game with McHenry as the backstop. Shift is on for Lind. And that one misses away. 3 balls, no strikes on the big lefty. Adams sitting on 9 homers this year. 33 runs batted in. He's second on the club in home runs. And he draws the walk on 4 straight. A slumping hitter in Adam Lind. He'll take that walk. Good way to get his day started. And the Brewers put 2 on with nobody out, with the hottest hitter of the group coming up, Shane Peterson.
Yeah, continues to go higher and higher in that batting order. You know, today 5th. I guess you can't say that he's batting at the bottom of the order anymore.
Yeah, the bottom of the order did a lot of damage last night. Hitter 6 through 9. Peterson had 3 hits last night. Had a couple of RBIs. He's got a 5-game hitting streak going. And he swings at the first pitch. It's backhanded by Descalso. They get the out at second to retire the side. Little jam shot off the bat of Peterson. Kyle Loesch on the mound this afternoon. In center field, the picturesque Coors Field in Denver. Brewers failed to score in the first, leave a couple of runners on. Walt Weiss, year number 3 as the manager of the Colorado Rockies, had a terrific career in the big leagues, an all-star shortstop. Spent time with the A's and Colorado, and here is the Rockies Potawatomi batting order as turned in by Walt Weiss. He's got Charlie Blackmon, DJ LeMahieu, and Carlos Gonzalez at the top. Arenado, Rosario, and McHenry in the middle with Descalso, Brandon Barnes, and Chad Bettis. Rounding out the starting 9 that will face Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, Kyle needs a good start. He's lost his last 4 decisions. Last Kansas City, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, and an 8-5 loss, making start number 15 against Colorado.
Charlie Blackmon leads off for the Rockies. He swings at the first pitch, pulls it foul.
And Loesch's 6-4 career against Colorado, 3-3 here at Coors Field. Not an easy place for a guy that relies on off-speed pitches to pitch.
And a guy who spins a lot as well, a lot of cutters and sliders. That curveball he throws doesn't have that overpowering fastball. That was something to watch last night. If you weren't with us for last night's game, Taylor Youngman started and won the game. His second win in the big leagues and just his 3rd start, and he threw exclusively fastballs until the 9th hitter of the game. He had 31 straight fastballs and had only given up an infield hit at that point.
That's pretty much the way he went through the entire game. I mean, he threw maybe 12 curveballs, maybe. Talked to Lucroy at the batting cage today. He said it's impressive the way his pitch cuts, that fastball cuts away from a right-handed hitter, that funky delivery that he has, and able to get through the lineup.
That ball is hit hard to right, but Braun is right there for the out. And Blackmon retired. That's how Loesch gets his day underway. Taylor Youngman went 6 innings yesterday and 4 runs, and that's saying something here at Coors Field. That's for any pitcher, but especially a guy making his first ever start at Coors Field in Denver.
Yeah, Brewers able to get some runs for him early, so that relaxed him a bit. Knew he could make some mistakes and pitched well.
Here's DJ LeMahieu. There's Youngman. All smiles after winning for the 2nd time. wins against the Pirates and the Rockies. And what started out to be maybe one start in the big leagues, and then who knows, perhaps a ticket back to AAA. He has been able to parlay that into at least 4 starts. He's going to remain in the rotation for the near future here. Good for him.
Yeah,
earned his stripes.
Kind of the way it goes. I mean, you're having a rough season, and there's injuries involved, and same thing with Shane Peterson. Who would have thought that he'd be playing this much? Talked about Shane when we came on the air today.
LeMahieu right back to Loesch. Nice play with that big glove of his. And the second out of the inning.
Well, let's check out the Brewers Menard's defense. Had a couple of changes in that starting lineup with the right-hander Bettis on the mound, Jeanette Lynn back in the lineup, Lucroy still behind home plate. And Hernan Perez getting a start at third base. Noah Ramos Ramirez today.
Noah Ramirez had a terrific day yesterday, but
actually it's Maldonado behind home plate. My mistake. Wrote it down wrong.
2 away here for Carlos Gonzalez. He moves into the 3 spot in the order with Troy Tulowitzki getting the day off. I was a little surprised that Ramirez wasn't in the lineup today, but apparently Counsell and Ramirez had worked it out. This was the day to have off. A day game after a night game last night, and then another day game tomorrow, and then an off day Monday. So essentially he'll be able to play every other day. And he had a very good game last night, did Ramirez. He gives Counsell a nice bat off the bench.
That's kind of surprising. That's why it's surprising he's not playing today. I mean, as well as he was swinging the bat last night.
There's a pop up into foul territory. Long run. That's going to be in the Brewers dugout. A lot of foul grounds here. One of the few advantages a pitcher has. There's Ramirez, kicked back with the shades on. Well, he said at the beginning of the year, which he announced this would be his final year, that he was hoping to play in 130 games this year. He knows he's not a guy that can play every day anymore. So they were going to be diligent on his days off. Looks pretty comfortable in that dugout. Here's a 1-2 and a swing. Gonzalez didn't mean to do it, and down he goes. 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Loesch. Good way to start it at Coors Field. We are scoreless, headed to the second. Inning on a sunny Saturday afternoon. And by the way, in today's game, we are participating in the home run challenge. Today, every Brewers homer hit in this game raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online, homerunchallenge.org. Chad Bettis back on the mound for the Rockies. And Scooter Gennett leads off, takes strike one from Bettis. Gennett back in there today. He did finish the game defensively last night. Yeah, didn't mean to do it. Quickly 0-2 on Gennett. Scooter comes in with a batting average of .202. Got off to a dreadful start this year at the plate. Was sent down to Colorado Springs, the Brewers AAA affiliate. And he got it put back together and was called back up. He's actually been swinging the bat pretty well since he returned to the major leagues. He was recalled on June 11th.
Colorado Rockies have a huge shift on Gennett. We haven't seen anything like this. And that's what he needs to do more of. I mean, he needs to spray the ball around a little bit more, not a home run hitter. And for a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, that's a big shift. They got the shortstop, Descalso, the first base side of the bag. And when Scooter's going well, he's hitting balls to left field.
Takes one in the dirt. Yeah, Gennett, this is very unusual, and I'm sure it gives hitting coach Darnell Coles a little ammo as well. Look, these guys are defending you based on your spray chart, so let's try to adjust the spray charts a little bit. Every hitting coach worth his salt wants you to try to go the other way. And he bounces one. Right there is Descalso. Gennett is retired. And Chad Bettis has retired 4 in a row to start this game. Hernan Perez getting another start, and similar story with Shane Peterson, but as Perez has gotten himself in the lineup, he has started to produce at the plate. He has 6 hits in his last 5 games. 2 of those are doubles, and they had a double last night. So now that he's getting regular at-bats, he's starting to see some of the results and why the Brewers wanted to get him in the organization. He was claimed off waivers from the Tigers, and you figure he's going to get a good chance to show what he can do this year.
I imagine he's going to get a lot of playing time against left-handed pitching, give Scooter Gennett a day off, and plays second, plays third base. He can play short. So if you pick him up and you have to keep him on the roster, you got to get him in the lineup every now and again, see what he can do.
And he goes to the right side, gloved by LeMahieu. He spins and throws him out. Beautiful play, DJ LeMahieu. There's a lot going on that play, not the least of which with the awkward spin of that batted ball right off the end of the bat of Perez.
Yeah, you never know what kind of hop you're going to get on a spin like that. Almost hit the lip of the grass, too. But makes the play. He's playing Gold Glove second base. Certainly, you talk to these folks around this Rockies ball club, he's an all-star. He and Arenado, the Rockies are touting for the all-star game.
Now DJ LeMahieu, one of the best fielding second basemen in the big leagues right now. Up there among the best fielding percentage in the National League. Maldonado in a 1-1 count. This Rockies club is an enigma. We saw them earlier this year. They look like a team that had a chance to contend in the National League West, but they have really struggled. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. They've lost 5 in a row. They got swept by the Houston Astros in their recent interleague home-and-home series. And just a tough team to figure out. They sit in the basement of the National League West.
Yeah, they won their first 6 road games this year. Beat the Brewers, swept them, and swept the Giants. Well, things were looking pretty good. Boy, when they were in Milwaukee to start the season, they were swinging the bats. They're actually pitching pretty well.
Now, Tyler Matzek was in their rotation, and when he was sent down, they brought Chad Bettis up from AAA Albuquerque to fill his spot. Maldonado on the ground to short. Descalso makes the play, and that is a 3-up, 3-down inning, 3 ground ball outs Brewers gone down in order first 2 innings. Kyle Loesch back to work. Brewers are held scoreless in the first 2 innings. Our Carsoup.com trivia question: who are the 2 active pitchers to appear in at least 800 games? 2 active pitchers over 800. That's a good one. So Loesch retiring the side in order in the first inning. And he'll face Nolan Arenado to start the bottom of the second. Arenado, Willeen Rosario, and Michael McHenry. First 3 up for Colorado. Arenado right now is the club leader in homers and RBIs. 16 home runs, 53 runs batted in. And he rips that one into right center field. That is way back there. And a 1-hop off the wall. Parra will play it, and Arenado is in with a double.
That man can hit. Well, he's a good player. You don't hear a whole lot about Arenado out here in Colorado. They love him here, but the rest of the country doesn't know a whole lot about him. 16th double this season. Hits the ball to the opposite field very well. He's up amongst league leaders in home runs and RBIs. There's a fastball from Loesch. Away from Arenado, he just centers on it and drives it hard into the gap in right center. A base hit into right field yesterday on a 2-strike pitch.
I had a triple yesterday. Did Arenado, had a single on that base hit to right. 2 hits yesterday, drove in 2. He's at second to start the second inning. Willeen Rosario at the plate. Rosario got a pinch hit appearance last night. He swung at the first pitch and popped it up. Trying to find some playing time for him. He is a big bat for Walt Weiss. That is a fair ball. Maldonado goes to first. Takes the sure out. Rosario is retired on a 2-3 putout, but Arenado does advance to third.
Yep, on a full swing, that ball went about 3 feet. Just like a bunt, though. Able to get Arenado to third base.
Here's Michael McHenry. The starting catcher for Colorado is Nick Hundley. McHenry getting his spot in the lineup today. Both the backup catchers are in. He hammers one to center field, and Parra will make the catch. Coming in to score is Arenado, and the Rockies strike first. Sac fly and an RBI for Michael McHenry. It's 1-0.
Yeah, we talk about McHenry's problems throwing out base runners, but he can swing the bat. I mean, he does have a good stick up there, taking a first pitch and hitting it deep into center. That one right down the middle at about 89 miles an hour. McHenry hits it hard into center field, and Rockies take a 1-0 lead.
It is the second out. Here is Descalso now, the former Cardinal, in a utility role with the Rockies. Today gets the start at shortstop. Troy Tulowitzki has the day off. In the air to left, pretty well hit. Peterson is back with room. He's got it. And that will retire the side. A quick strike for Colorado. They score a run after an Arenado double. 1-0.
Brewers take on the Big Apple next Tuesday, June 23rd through Thursday the 25th, as the Brewers return home for a midweek matchup with the first place New York Mets. Great seats are still available, starting at just $15. Call 414-902-4000. Or go to the Brewers website, brewers.com, to reserve your spot today.
Now you wonder if the Mets are going to be players trying to acquire talent prior to the trade deadline. We shall see. Kyle Lowe starts it for the Brewers at the plate. 9-1-2 coming up. Segura to follow, then Parra. Parra has the lone hit for Milwaukee thus far. Chad Bettis, 26-year-old right-hander out of Lubbock, Texas. Played his college ball right there in his hometown at Texas Tech. A second rounder in 2010. He spent some time as a relief pitcher last year. He was coming back from a shoulder surgery in 2012. And so they thought it'd be best if he was a reliever coming back once he got back established, and up and down between the major leagues and the minor leagues, but they made him a full-time starter this year. Made 6 starts in AAA Albuquerque before his call-up. Slow roller out to second, and the Gold Glover LeMahieu makes the play for out number 1. And that is 5 in a row retired now. 5 ground ball outs.
Really, when you look at Bettis and what he throws, he's not a big sinker baller. He will have some arm side sink, in on a right-handed batter. Cut it a little bit away on the outer half of the plate, but he just mixes it up. We haven't seen a lot of curveballs. It's been basically fastball sliders so far. They say he's got a pretty good straight changeup. There's that cutter slider that he throws. Pretty good pitch. Coors
Field has always been thought of as a place for pitchers where it's hard hard to throw your breaking balls, especially curveballs. That one hangs up there, and Segura whips it into center field for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Milwaukee, and Segura, whose hitless streak reached 16 at-bats until his 2 hits yesterday. Singles with 1 away, sets up Gerardo Parra.
A couple of infield hits yesterday, and this time Segura able to wait back on the breaking pitch. Something that he and Darnell Cole's have been working at all season. Sometimes he drifts a little bit and starts rolling over on pitches away from him. Stayed back nicely that time.
1 away for Parra, who singled and stole a base in the first inning. There goes Segura. McHenry's throw to second is not in time. Segura just able to keep a finger on the bag.
Yeah, sliding to the outfield side of the base made the tag a little bit longer for Descalso. Now, a little bit of a slow release. Average throwing arm at best, a little bit high. And check it out. Watch where he touches the bag. Outfield side of the bag. And just able to keep those fingers on the base.
Hey, that's pretty impressive athleticism right there, sensing the throw was coming. And that he's obviously reading the infielder coming in as if that was going to be a short throw, and he jumps to the back of the bag. And let's see if they got a piece of the shoe here. No, it doesn't look like it.
Hard to tell.
Segura fractured his right pinky finger, so his left hand is the hand that he likes to catch the base with.
They want to take a look at it.
Yeah, Walt Weiss, he had held him up briefly, and now we're going to have a challenge here in the Brewer third inning.
Well, the question I would imagine is, did Descalso swipe the foot or the leg as Segura went by before he had the hand on the bag?
And so the crew chief, Bill Miller, and the calling umpire, Adrian Johnson, are over. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Does he get him there? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Tough to tell with that angle. Nothing from that angle would lead you to believe that they could overturn it. This might be a better look with the super slow-mo camera.
It's hard to tell. Yeah. Is that clear and convincing evidence here? It might be a better look at it. I think he misses him. I can't imagine why Walt Weiss would try to challenge that.
You know what we've seen so far this year, these close calls, they aren't being overturned. And we saw it yesterday. Craig Counsell challenged in the first inning on a bang-bang play at first. It did not go his way, and Counsell lost his challenges the rest of the game.
And this is kind of a risky proposition right here for Walt Weiss. I mean, there's no way you can tell if Descalso gets a piece of him or not.
Call on the field is safe, so there has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn it.
So if it's not overturned, the Rockies are without challenges the rest of the way.
And these two umpires, they're just waiting. The crew chief in the near shot is Bill Miller, so he's the one who will actually make the call, and safe. So it stands, or probably confirmed, I'm guessing. No, the call stands. That means there's not clear and conclusive evidence.
It really doesn't matter.
He's safe either way.
Right, yeah.
Basically, you get three responses from the replay center in New York. It's overturned, stands, or confirmed. And if they say it's confirmed, that means obviously they saw what the umpires on the field saw. If they say that it stands, that means there's not enough evidence to overturn it from the replay center. So,
yeah, risky challenge for Walt Weiss. And I thought the one that the Brewers did in the first inning was a bit risky. It's early to be without challenges in a game, first, second inning.
So Parra in an 0-2 count. He singled on an 0-2 pitch in the first inning. Got a chance to drive in a run. He had a good swing. Parra just continues to hit. Guy has been a terrific player. And with Gomez out, he's been able to cover center field. He's Not a natural center fielder anymore. Excellent corner outfielder. And down he goes. Bettis buried a breaking ball down and in, and Parra strikes out. The second out of the inning and the second K for Bettis.
You know, that back leg breaking pitch, the right-hander to the left-handed hitter. Check it out. It's a slider, the one that he's been throwing, and that wasn't even close. That wasn't even close to being a strike, but Parra swings right over the top of it.
So 2 outs for Ryan Braun. He swung at the first pitch his last time up, flew out to center. Got Segura at second base, and Bettis is in there with a fastball for a strike. It's been a slow month of June for Braun. A .203 batting average in the month of June. We sit here on the 20th of June. Striking out a little bit more than he normally does. He's striking out about an at-bat more this June than he typically does in his career in the month. In the dirt, Segura's on the run. No throw from McHenry. So good heads-up base running there by Segura. That'll be a wild pitch. He was off as soon as it hit the dirt. He took off.
Yeah, watch the secondary lead by Gene Segura. I mean, this is pretty good base running. Didn't get away that far from Michael McHenry, and the only way you make it in a situation like that is if you're ready to take an extra base. Good anticipation that time by Segura.
2 outs in the inning. Runner at third for Braun, and a bouncing ball, foul. Not by much. And the more RBI opportunities there are for Braun, the better he gets at the plate. He's a .368 hitter this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. His batting average increases based on the situation.
A lot of times when there's men on base, pitchers are forced to throw him strikes. I mean, that's just not Ryan Braun. That's just about everybody. And nobody on, they can be a little bit more, or less aggressive in the strike zone.
A swing and a miss. Down he goes. Braun strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Chad Bettis. Brewers strand a runner in scoring position. Scoreboard, the Rockies lead 1-0. Say these iconic land-to-water tours aboard World War II amphibious vehicles are a must when you're in the Dells. You'll see the beauty of the Wisconsin River, Lake Delton, and the lush land surrounding both. You'll be treated to an entertaining travelogue along the way as well. The original Wisconsin Ducks. There they are.
They accept no invitation.
Great way to travel. First ball swinging for the Rockies, Brandon Barnes. And out number one, Loesch, one pitch, one out, starting his third inning.
Augie and Craig look like they're having a pretty good time out there.
You know who's having a really good time is Sophia.
Is she?
Yeah, she's kind of hanging out at the pool.
I haven't heard from her.
Yeah, well, she's been doing a lot of twins.
That's probably what you mean, right?
A lot of twins.
Having a good time. Haven't seen her on camera.
Right. She's their quality assurance. She's in the quality assurance checks.
Augie and Craig last night on the post-game show, hanging out around a fire. Mm-hmm. Just kind of chatting, having a good time.
It's very romantic.
It was. They are good buddies.
Having some s'mores. Here's the pitcher, Bettis. It's good work if you can get it. I do love Wisconsin Dells. It's a great place to hang out.
Yeah, me too.
Always enjoy spending a little time up there. I think I might head up there for the All-Star break. What do you say?
You did that one other time, didn't you?
Oh, I've done it a couple of times.
Been up there a couple of times.
2-0 pitch to the pitcher. Bettis misses. 3 balls, no strikes.
Actually, my son played a lot of hockey up in the Dells.
Is that right?
Hockey rink. Spent some time in the old Moose Jaw.
No wonder you know so much about Moose Jaw. I hear they got a good nacho in there.
Yeah, nachos are good. You know, nice cold Miller and Coors.
3 balls and a strike on Bettis. And that one's foul. Did you feel compelled to mention both of the beer products?
No doubt.
That were here in Denver?
Yep. Miller Coors Company.
Miller and Coors.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Nacho Supreme.
One big nacho.
The nachos aren't sponsored, so I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, man. That's funny. What are you having, sir? I'll have a Miller and a Coors, please.
I've done that. Recently, as a matter of fact.
Full count to the pitcher, Bettis. And he got him. Struck him out with a fastball. Second strikeout for Loesch. 2 up and 2 down. And back to the top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon. I think that's Charlie Blackmon back there. I mean, I can tell by his name and his number, but you're not quite sure with the beard. Seems a little hot for a beard like that.
I was going to say. Yep. It's fashionable, though.
I've never been able to grow a beard like that, so I wouldn't really know how hot it is, but it seems like it. He's a good player. Charlie Blackmon, speedy outfielder, center fielder. 268 hitter this season.
Got off to a tremendous start last year. All-star last year.
And a wave and a miss. A little off speed from Kyle Loesch. Loesch giving up a run last inning. Nolan Arenado doubled into right center to start the inning. And then McHenry drove him in on a sac fly. Arenado went to third on a ground out. Loesch needs a good one. It's been a battle for him this year, and you can just see it in his face, in his actions between starts. He's normally a pretty funny guy, fun-loving guy between starts. He's certainly a leader. He takes a lot of these pitchers under his wing, and strong veteran presence, but he just hasn't been quite himself. He's really grinding over what the season has been like for him and just trying to find some answers.
Takes responsibility as to what has been going on for the club. I mean, he's grinding every start, and even in between starts, you can just see it in his face that he's very disappointed in himself.
There's a swing and a miss. He took something off, and Blackmon is a strikeout victim. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of Ks for Kyle Loesch. Head to the top of the fourth. Say you can own the future at the Bucs season ticket open house on Thursday, June 25th at BMO Harris Bradley Center. Beginning at 4 p.m., fans can purchase the best seats available for the next season. Be the first to step onto the newly redesigned court. Watch the Bucs select the newest member at the draft. And for all the details, go to foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. Adam Lind leading off for the Brew Crew here in the fourth inning. Got 3 consecutive lefties coming up. Lind, Peterson, and Jeanette. 4 lefties in the lineup here today. There's a strike from Chad Bettis. Lind walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Rolls over one to second base, and LeMahieu for out number 1.
They're mixing it up very well. I mean, that's a scouting report on Bettis. He's not going to blow you away with his big velocity, although he can touch 96 from time to time, but just mixes it up. Inside, outside, up and down. He'll change speeds on the same pitch. And throws a lot of strikes. Doesn't walk many. And that's the thing that will kill you in this ballpark. You start being a little bit timid in the strike zone. You walk guys and somebody hits one out. Pitchers have a tendency not to be as aggressive in the strike zone in this ballpark.
Peterson in a quick hole, 0-2. Shane grounded out his first time up. That ended the inning. He had 2 men on at the time. Peterson on this road trip is now 7 for 12. 3 hits last night. He's making his 12th start for the Brewers today.
Yeah, both sides of the baseball swinging the bat well, playing terrific left field. With injury comes opportunity, and Shane Peterson's taking advantage of his with Gomez out of the lineup.
He's played his way onto many of the highlight shows. There's a call at strike 3. Bettis hits the edge with a fastball. Hits 94 with the fastball. He is on his A game so far. 2 outs in the fourth.
Hey, Paul Molitor is immortalized in bobblehead form next Sunday, June 28th, as the Brewers host the Minnesota Twins. And all fans at Miller Park, we get a Paul Molitor bobblehead, courtesy of Clements Sausage. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Well, the Twins are hosting the Cubs today. That game is coming down to the end. They're all tied at 1 at Target Field. They're at the bottom of the ninth. Minnesota trying to keep pace with the Kansas City Royals. Just a game and a half behind Kansas City to start play today. 2.5, I should say. And the Twins have won 3 in a row. They had a walk-off against the St. Louis Cardinals. And then they beat the Cubs last night. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeanette. Little tapper right back to the mound. And that'll be an easy inning for Chad Bettis. 3 up, 3 down. The Brewers go in order in the fourth. Rockies lead it 1-0. They are coming to bat. Shot some very cool footage today. Potawatomi scoreboard has the Rockies on top. Say, Rock, did you know Wisconsin Dells is fast becoming a hot spot on the golf vacation circuit? Thanks to championship courses like Wild Rock Golf Club, built around and through a former quarry, Trapper's Turn Golf Club, an Andy North design course, and Coldwater Canyon Golf Course at Chula Vista Resort, one of Wisconsin's most historic courses. Saw Andy North on the coverage of the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. Kyle Loesch back to work. Rockies here in the fourth inning. LeMahieu, Gonzalez, Arenado. Got him. Lowe strikes him out, makes quick work of him on 3 pitches.
The location really good for Kyle so far today. That was fastball right on the edge. And all LeMahieu could do is watch it go by in hopes that it wouldn't be called a strike. Look at Maldonado setting up. He's got the glove in the corner. Didn't even have to move the glove, right on the edge. Perfect pitch.
Carlos Gonzalez now with 1 away. Loesch with 4 strikeouts and has 3 in a row leading up to this at-bat. Gonzalez was a strikeout victim in the first inning. Loesch's first and a 3-up, 3-down starter inning for him today. Gave up his run in the second.
Never imagined to see Carlos Gonzalez down in the 230s. Well, that's what he hit last year. He was a 238 hitter. Only 70 games, though. He was hampered with injuries, but it was a stretch this year. He was swinging the bat pretty well recently until the Brewers got here. Too good a player to be hitting 230s.
A changeup from Loesch. Way out in front of it was Gonzalez. Lined into right, a base hit. Tried to double him up on the changeup. Gonzalez was ready for that one.
Yeah, left it upstairs, and you're not going to get away with too many of those. So Carlos Gonzalez, even if he's hitting 238, wait back and hit it hard into right. Gonzalez, a career 291 hitter, including his off year last year. Guy can rake.
He won a batting title 1 year.
Yep, Loesch left a changeup up in the strike zone and paid for it.
Only the second hit for Colorado. Nolan Arenado at the plate. He had the other hit. He had the double in the second. Would eventually score the lone run for Colorado. Checks in 6th in the league in homers with 16. He's 3rd in the league in RBIs with 53.
Hits the ball where it's pitched. That's why he's been so effective this year. 2 RBIs last night on a triple.
Most of the major categories, he is among league leaders. And Loesch gets him to pop this one up to center field, a mile high in the Mile High City. And there is out number 2.
Hey, that brings us to today's Tavern of the Game winner, Schoolhouse Tavern in Westfield. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, 414-902-4572 is the phone number. Schoolhouse Tavern gets 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. It's this offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Schoolhouse Tavern.
You been there? No. Sounds like a place of higher education. You could order a Miller and a Coors there.
I would imagine you learned a few things there.
Willeen Rosario with 2 outs. Big fan of Schoolhouse Rock growing up. On the ground up the middle, and backhand by Jeanette. Long throw, not there. Rosario legs one out, an infield hit. Maybe if Segura gets to it, but too tough of a play for Jeanette.
Yeah, once you got by Segura, no chance to get the out. Even with Rosario running, the former catcher. It's Jeanette playing up the middle. He shaded up the middle, and you can see that's a long throw. Has to plant his foot. By that time, too late to get the base runner. Inning continues. One thing he does by keeping it in the infield, he keeps Gonzalez at second base. Can't get to third. That ball trickles into center field. He's going to be at third base.
First and second now with 2 away. Michael McHenry at the plate. McHenry swung at the first pitch his last time up. He lined one into center. Drove in the only run of the game. He had a sac fly. Scored Arenado from third.
Most game the same pitch. I guess McHenry didn't think he was going to do it again. Yeah, first pitch to him last time up, he hit that fly ball to center. Went right back to it.
And a ground ball to third. Nice and easy for Perez to the bag. And Loesch puts up a 0 in the 4th. Rockies get 2 hits. They strand a pair. Still 1-0 Colorado. McHenry, that's been it thus far. We're headed to the top of the 5th. And our Blaine's Farm and Fleet down on the farm. Former first-round draft pick Cody Medeiros. He pitched last night at Miller Park against Beloit and showed himself pretty well. Took a no-hitter into the 6th. Pitch count got him 5 2/3. He had 7 strikeouts on the big league mound. Good for him. And you see his season this season. Been very good at home. He's a guy to watch in the Brewers system. Chad Bettis back to work for Colorado. Hernan Perez will lead off this 5th inning for Milwaukee.
Well, the Brewers certainly hoping that's not the last start for Cody Medeiros at Miller Park. Be the first.
How fun is that for an A-ball team to go play in a big league ballpark?
No kidding.
They do it every year.
That'll get you going. A little incentive. This is the carrot that you're trying to get at. Dangle that carrot out there. Let them hang out in that clubhouse and get on that field. Nothing like it.
Timber Rattlers playing in Appleton. A little over an hour and a half from Appleton to Miller Park. Little flare, right field. LeMahieu will run it down. This guy's got some range. Big second baseman. He's 6'4", and he can run. Great hands.
And he's got good instincts. He really does. Watch how quickly he's on the mark and angles back and makes the catch. Not a very difficult play, but he's able to make it into short right field. Pretty big for a second baseman.
Yeah, he doesn't look like your prototypical second baseman. He looks like Ryan Sandberg is what he looks like.
Bobby Grich.
He's got a little Neil Walker in him.
Anybody else?
Those are all the tallest second basemen I can think of off the top of my head. Martin Maldonado here with one away. Bettis has set down 6 in a row now. Bettis made 6 starts in AAA. This is his 8th start in the big leagues. And he's got a good live arm.
Yeah, little cut on that last fastball outside corner to the right-handed hitter.
He's hit 94 today. As a reliever, they thought he'd be a guy that could be a fastball slider pitcher and pitch in the 95+ range. Maldonado turns it around, a base hit. So that breaks the string of 6 in a row retired by Bettis. And the Brewers have their first base runner since the 3rd inning.
He made a mistake, left one down the middle for Maldi, and he's able to bang it into center. Stays right on it. You see Bettis wanted that pitch on the outside corner, left it down the middle, and Maldonado with a base hit. This is Martin Maldonado weather. I was talking to him before the game. He loves this kind of weather. Nice and hot.
That makes sense for a guy from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I think all the players are enjoying the nice hot weather, no humidity. Brewers have been battling rain and cold weather throughout the season. I guess everybody has.
Loesch looking to bunt him over. Whoa, spins him out. 2 balls, no strikes on Loesch. He gets a good bunt down. Oh, they'll play it. That ball was rolling foul.
He'll take the out.
And Rosario makes the play for out number 2. 3-4 on the put out. Advancing to second is Maldonado.
And maybe had there been nobody out, they might have let it go foul. Rosario not all that familiar with first base. I guess if he had it do over again, he might have let it go, but he'll take the sure out.
No longer catching Willeen Rosario. Trying to find spots for him at first base and occasionally in the outfield. Runner at second. Here is Gene Segura with 2 away. And he lines one to right and right into the glove of Gonzalez. Brewers are 0 for 5 today with runners on base. Segura, bad luck. Hit it right on the nose. Nothing to show for it.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business.
Afternoon baseball, the Brewers and the Colorado Rockies. A couple of teams trying to fight their way out of last place in their respective divisions. Kyle Lohse on the mound. He will face Daniel Descalso to start it. And his first pitch, a fastball strike.
Been able to manage his pitch count pretty well. Pitches per inning, not too bad. Fourth inning, his highest pitch count, 15.
And Descalso fouls it back. A changeup from Lohse. 0-2 the count. I want to wish congratulations to our good buddy and former Brewer coach, Willie Randolph. He finally gets a monument at Yankee Stadium in Monument Park today.
Wow.
Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. Fly ball to left. Peterson will ease toward the line. And there is the first out. That was a nice ceremony. I saw bits and pieces of it online, but Chris Chambliss presented him with a ring. And in diamonds, the number 30 for Willie Randolph. What a great player he was.
Talk about great second baseman, right?
Borderline Hall of Fame player.
There's some great second basemen back in that era. We had Frank White, Jim Gantner, our own Jim Gantner, Bobby Grich, just to name a couple.
Randolph managed the Mets, managed them into the World Series back in 2000, and was a Brewers coach under Ken Maka. He was the bench coach. Brandon Barnes takes ball one. Gives you an idea what kind of guy Willie Randolph is. He interviewed for the managerial job with the Brewers. That was leading up to the 2010 season or 9 season, and he didn't get the job. Ken Maka got the job, and then Doug Melvin asked him, well, would you consider being a bench coach for Ken Maka, the guy that just beat you out for the job?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do?
Wants to be in uniform, wants to coach. Why not, right? Check your pride at the door. Nothing wrong with that.
Loves being around the game.
There should be more guys like that.
Derek Jeter gives Willie Randolph a lot of credit for helping him acclimate to big league life. When Jeter came up with the Yankees, Randolph was a coach under Joe Torre at the time with the Yanks. So congratulations to Willie. He'll have a monument out there forever.
Yeah.
3-1 to Barnes, up and in, and Lohse loses the 8th place hitter.
First
one out walk.
That first walk of the day for Kyle Lohse, who seems to have his pretty good location today. You know, last time out not that great, but the time before he pitched well. Got a loss. Didn't miss by much, did it? Of course, Foxtrot's had it in the strike zone.
Yeah, it might have been the way Maldonado caught that ball.
I think Barnes thought it was a strike. It took him a while to get out of the box.
So the pitcher Bettis up there to try to bunt. Yeah, I know why Maldonado gets on a knee, tries to get low and ride that outside corner, but it does inhibit you, doesn't it, to be able to slide over and try to. You're always trying to catch a ball
right
within the frame of your body.
Yeah, bringing the baseball, you know, in toward home plate all the time. But I guess you have to move your body too much. It's going to be a ball anyway. Well, you're right. When you get down there on your knees and get really low, I mean, you are very much limited as to how far you can move. And umpires can see very well when you're down that low.
Well, Maldonado doesn't do that with every pitcher. Only pitchers who have good command, guys like Lohse, and feel confident that they're going to be around the area where your glove is.
And you never do with a man on base.
There's a bunt foul. That'll be the second strike on Bettis.
Bettis gave him a pretty good battle up there his first time up. Ended up striking out, but Los had to work for it.
That was a 7-pitch at bat to Bettis. It's the most to any batter today that was from the Rockies pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and he swings. Loesch knocks it down. He'll have just 1 play. He was thinking double play all the way, and if he lets it go, it might end up as a double play. Instincts taking over. It works just like a sacrifice bunt. Bettis has put out 1-3, and Barnes advances to second.
Yeah, try to tell a pitcher just to let one go when it's going up the middle like that. I mean, you're right. It's all instinct. Even if he catches it right away, I think he's got a double play, but he gets a sure out at first. Get somebody out on a play like that.
Yeah, Segura was standing right there. He was covering the bag anyway. He was close to second for a potential double play. So now Loesch is going to have to deal with the leadoff hitter, Charlie Blackmon. 3rd time at the plate against Loesch for him today. He's 0 for 2. Had a line out and a strikeout. To right, and that is gone. A home run for Blackmon. 2-run shot for the Rockies leadoff hitter, and it's 3-0 Colorado.
Yeah, it looked like an off-speed pitch. Yes, that's what it looked like when he threw it. Blackmon tomahawked it and way back out there and right. So the inability to turn that double play caused Kyle Loesch and the Brewers a couple of runs. It was a changeup. It was up out over the plate, and Blackmon knocked it out of here. That was a no-doubter.
And that's a symbol of Loesch's problems this year. He just has not been able to pitch down in the zone and throw it where he wants it. So you go from having a chance to turn a double play to get out of an inning. Instead, a 2-run home run stretches the Rockies' lead to 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 outs, bases empty for LeMahieu. And Loesch falls behind 2-0.
Yeah, location leads to home runs. We don't throw very hard. That's the 17th allowed by Kyle this year. He's only had 2 starts this year where he has not allowed a home run.
Three and 1 to LeMahieu. Third time today Loesch has been in a 3-ball count. And that one's line foul. LeMahieu a little bit late. LeMahieu starts play today, 5th in the National League in batting, sitting .322 coming in. He's 0 for 2 today. Rockies are hoping to get 2 All-Stars this year in the National League, LeMahieu and Arenado. You think 2 Rockies All-Stars, you're thinking Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki.
Right.
But not this year. That one's line. Oh, what a catch by Scooter Gennett, going up the ladder to make that play. Looked like he caught that one behind him. The athletic Gennett takes a hit away from LeMahieu, give him a taste of his own medicine. Nothing, but that's worth another look, courtesy of Columbia St. Mary's. Look at Jeanette go high in the air.
Pretty good vertical leap, wouldn't you say? Look at there. Wow. Able to haul it in. A 20-pitch inning for Kyle. Just when we start talking about managing his pitch count pretty well.
Boy, he had that double play right in front of him, too. You know that burns him up. The ground ball by the pitcher. That could have ended the inning. Instead, Blackman with a 2-run homer. The Brewers are down 3 here in the 6th. Parra, Braun, Lind due up if anybody reaches Shane Peterson.
Young man's got it going today. He's got good location, mixing his pitch as well. Looks good. It's kind of the way he was throwing the baseball in the month of May. Last 2 not very good, but he's back on it here today.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's, Gerardo Parra with a base hit on an 0-2 pitch in the first inning. Struck out in the third. Then it's got him on a down and in slider. Let's see what he goes with here. Same pitch, same result. And Parra is a strikeout victim again. So second time Gerardo is struck out. That's number 5 for Bettis. Ryan Braun with nobody on and 1 out. Yesterday, Ryan Braun with Powerball home run number 14 and the 8th of the year that has come on the first pitch of an at-bat.
Got good extension on that cut fastball from De La Rosa. Had a rough day on the mound yesterday, but that snapped a pretty good stretch for the Brewers, or I should say the Rockies left-hander. Used to be with the Brewers.
Shadows his bat. Wow, the head of that bat went past Ed Cedar at third.
And Braun holding the rest of it.
It's just so unusual to see a bat break like that.
Not as unusual as it used to be. I mean, you see that more and more with these maple bats, if that's in fact what it is. But right off the end of the bat, and that's what slices that bat right down the middle. Eddie's still quick enough to get out of the way.
Stunned him for a moment.
That happens when you have those cupped bats.
Now, why do you cup a bat?
Take out some of the unnecessary weight in a bat, so you get the density of a. Let's say you swing a 35-33. You can actually get a 35-34 ounce bat. You carve out the end of it because you really don't need the wood down there, and you can actually get thicker, denser wood.
And a little soft liner to LeMahieu. Bettis working Braun inside successfully. 2 outs here in the 6th.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
You got it?
I mean, all the weight transfers as you swing to the end of the bat, and if there's no wood there, it makes it easier to swing, I guess.
You don't need that.
Lighter.
You don't need it out at the end. You need it down near the barrel. That's why you see the very thin handles, the cupped bats. Unnecessary weight, you don't need it when you're trying to swing the bat facing a mid-90s fastball.
Here's Adam Lind now. He swings at the first pitch. A high fly ball to left. Got a chance, and it is gone. A home run. Adam Lind taking advantage of Coors Field, a little opposite field homer. And the Brewers are finally on the board. Lind with number 10 for the season.
Yeah, it looks like Adam able to wait back on a changeup and knock it out of here to left field. We mentioned that this ballpark isn't going to hold too many deep fly balls, but able to stay on it enough. A changeup going away from him. Drives it out of here to the opposite field. So the skunk out of the box for the Crew here in the 6th.
Lind fighting a bit of a slump. And he homers after his day off yesterday. He's on base twice today with a walk and now the home run. Brewers finally get one on the board for Shane Peterson. cow. Yikes.
So you hit an empty seat right behind the Brewers dugout, fortunately.
Thank goodness.
Yeesh.
Yeah, those guys.
That was a screamer in there.
Peterson in a 1-2 count.
Peterson got caught looking on a fastball right on the outside corner his last time up. Bettis tried to hit that spot again, just missed.
Shane's 0 for 2 today.
That's where he usually throws that slider down and in.
And Peterson beats that one into the ground to short, backing up Descalso. Long throw, and it is in time. Good play by Daniel Descalso to end the inning. The Brewers finally get on the board. Adam Lind, his first home run since June 5th. And the Brewers get their first tally, a changeup right there in his wheelhouse. 3-1 Rockies. It is 3-1 Rockies. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. And a reminder tonight on Fox Sports Live, they've got all the news from the world of sports, the Women's World Cup, the U.S. Open, all the highlights from a full day in Major League Baseball. Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Carlos Gonzalez leads off, big swing and a miss to get the inning started. Rockies got 2 in the 5th inning on a 2-run homer by Charlie Blackmon. Adam Lind responds with a home run. And it is 3-1 RBIs today from McHenry, Blackmon, and Lind the only tally for the Brewers. It'll be a swing inning here for Kyle Loesch. 3rd time through the batting order. Gonzalez singled off Loesch in the 4th. He's 1 for 2 today.
He's had much better location today, and because of that, his pitch count's in good shape. Number 69 on its way.
Right off the end of the bat, right to Loesch. And there is out number 1.
Kyle has some pretty good numbers in his ballpark in his career. 3-3. Not too bad for a guy that doesn't throw hard.
Not an easy place to win. Loesch with a career ERA here at Coors Field of 4.39, or beg your pardon, against the Rockies at 4.39. 6.47 ERA at Coors Field.
Yeah, so I guess his number is a lot better than the way he's actually pitched, right? I guess he's got some good run support. Everything with a grain of salt in this ballpark.
Yeah, one bad outing. One outing with a lot of earned runs will destroy that ERA. It was the Rockies, as that one bounces foul. The Rockies put 8 earned runs on Loesch on opening day. Kyle lasted just 3 1/3. He gave up 10 hits. It's his worst start of the season, but it's been one of those years for Loesch. He showed some signs of coming out of it in mid-May when 8 shutout against the Mets in New York. Next time out, he went 6 innings against the Tigers. And he's only allowed fewer than 5 earned runs once in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, that was at Pittsburgh. He pitched well. Got a loss, though. Got beat 2-0.
Ripped to left. Peterson is there. And Nolan Arenado is retired. Hits that one sharply, but 2 quick outs for Loesch in the 6th.
Hey, once again this season, the Brewers have teamed up with the Milwaukee County Zoo to bring you the Brew Crew and the Zoo ticket package. For just $20, you'll get a Brewers ticket, a ticket to the Milwaukee County Zoo, and a free water bottle. For details, visit brewers.com/zoo. Did you bring your water bottle? They gave us one last homestand.
Yes, I didn't bring it with me on this road trip, but I'm keeping it at Miller Park. It's going to be my Miller Park water bottle of choice. I don't want to get it ruined on the road.
No, dented up.
I could use one now, though, with those kale chips we had earlier. Feels like those kale chips were extracted from the greens at Chambers Bay.
That golf course they're playing on?
Yes, the U.S. Open venue.
No, I mean, those kale chips were green. There's no green on that golf course.
Well, that's what I mean. They extracted them all out there, so there's nothing but brown left. They're not bad. That's more our speed, though. Something fried and doughy with sugar on it.
Yeah, somewhere in between, I think I sit.
Swing and a miss by Rosario. Took a big hack. Somewhere between the kale chips and the funnel cake?
Yeah.
That'd be somewhere around the Miller and the Coors.
No, that goes good with any of those. I bet kale chips would be good with a Coors.
A swing and a miss. Loesch punches out Rosario. And a 1-2-3 inning, picks up strikeout number 5. Brewers trail by 2.
Just a reminder, the Brewers Community Foundation will host a drive for charity June 26th through June 28th. Fans are asked to bring full-size toiletries to the ballpark. That will be donated to nonprofit organizations that support basic needs for families and children. Fans donating full-size toiletries or a contribution of $5 will be given a commemorative pin featuring the Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Mike Fiers. Brewers fans have been quite generous. We've had record contributions to the drive for charity. We all thank you.
Here we go to the 7th at Coors Field in Denver, and the Brewers trail 3-1. Chad Bettis is pitching a dandy today for the Rockies. He has only allowed 4 hits, and the lone run came on an Adam Lind opposite field homer last inning. Scooter Gennett starts it for Milwaukee. Gennett, Perez, then Maldonado. I was checking the scoreboard, Rock, and guess who is at it again for the Washington Nationals? Max Scherzer goes to the 7th inning with a perfect game. Last time he was on the mound was against Milwaukee last Sunday, and he struck out 16 in that game and was perfect until the 6th.
Bloop single by Carlos Gomez.
He's got 6 perfect innings, 7 strikeouts today for the Nationals against the Pirates. There's a low throw. Gennett is retired. One away for Chad Bettis and the Rockies here in the 7th.
Guy's something else, Scherzer. I mean, he put on a clinic at Miller Park. I mean, he was unhittable. That sinker, the slider he throws, he's just unhittable.
He threw a 1-hit shutout against the Brewers, striking out 16. And on Perez on the first pitch, down the line. That's fair. It'll go to the wall. And Perez on his way to second with a double. Has doubles in consecutive games for the Brewers. And Perez is in scoring position. The Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th.
Yeah, the more playing time he gets, the more comfortable he seems up there at the plate. That was a fastball that might have been in off the corner at 93 miles an hour. And Perez is able to turn it around, pops those hips open, and rips that one down the left field line. Man, just keep pecking away. Kyle Lewis has been throwing the baseball well. Really only one mistake today. That was that high change up to Blackman. So get him some runs here.
Maldonado now. Martin getting the start for Jonathan Lucroy today.
I wonder what Council's going to do here with Kyle Loesch on deck. Activity in that Brewers bullpen.
Loesch is through 6 innings on the mound with 3 runs allowed in the dirt. McHenry can't find it, and Perez on his way to third. So good base running there by Perez as McHenry had the anxiety going.
Yeah, just couldn't find it. Right under him. Or just right behind him. And yeah, I guess if you're catching and you're in a position like that, just look to your pitcher. A lot of times he'll point where it is. It's not there, not over there. There it is, too late. Perez gets to third. Nothing worse than that.
A big opportunity here for Milwaukee. Got to get a run in this spot. Rockies have played their infield back with a runner at third, and Maldonado takes a ball.
Tough to block those fastballs when they're down in the dirt like that. 95 miles an hour. That one that got away from McHenry.
Colorado's going to concede a run to get it out. Maldonado draws the walk, so that will force the hand of Craig Counsell, and he is going to take his shot with his best pinch hitter today. Jonathan Lucroy is coming out to hit. And the Brewers fans in the crowd with the Luke chants. Michael Blazek looks like he'll be next on the mound. Craig Counsell has got some arsenal on his bench here today. He's got Rogers, his best pinch hitter. He's got Lucroy, Ramirez. And sensing a moment right here and now, Counsell brings on Lucroy with runners at first and third and 1 man out.
Now make sure you get one up in the strike zone. Last thing you want to do is hit a ground ball, and that's what Bettis has been doing a very good job of today, is keeping the ball on the ground. Try to elevate one, get it up in the air.
Red Kranitz with Kyle Loesch. 6 innings, 3 runs at Coors Field is not bad at all. Now we'll see if his offense can give him a chance to win this game. Lucroy as a pinch hitter. Hasn't done it a whole lot this year. Matter of fact, this is his first at bat as a pinch hitter this season. Long pause by Bettis, and Lucroy finally asked for it and is granted time. And now Walt Weiss is on his way to the mound. So apparently Weiss wanted to get his reliever Tommy Kahnle a few extra tosses down there. And now Weiss does a left turn, goes to the home plate umpire. I'm assuming he's going to make a double switch here. That was a little unusual. He started walking to the mound. Before he crossed the line, he stopped. He made a left turn to the home plate umpire. And I'm not real sure why.
Yeah, I'm not sure because there's no lineup cards coming out, or at least there hadn't been. I think Doug Eddings right now looking at a lineup card. There he goes.
Yeah, when you make a straight pitching change, you go to the mound. When you want to make a double switch, you go to the home plate umpire. So we'll see who the position player that Weiss is going to bring on. But to his bullpen he goes. Tommy Kahnle is coming in. We'll take a break. Got a pitching change at Coors Field.
Is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly.
Now got a big moment in the ball game here as we play in the 7th inning. The Brewers have him at the corners. Walt Weiss with a double switch. Ben Paulson will take over at first base. Rosario is out. And the new pitcher is the hard-throwing Tommy Kahnle.
Yeah, spent some time down in the minor leagues this year. 9th appearance and earned run average just a little bit over 1. He's been very good. Last time out on Tuesday in Houston, pitched 2 innings. So he's a guy that they can stretch out a little bit, and that's probably why they did the double switch.
Averaging over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings this season in the big leagues. Lucroy at the plate, pinch hitting. First and third for the Crew, and Lucroy late on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Kahnle arrived to the Rockies on June 1st. Pitched an inning and a third in that game. He has given Weiss multiple innings on 3 occasions this year. His last time out, he went 2 against the Astros. Kahnle began the year down in Albuquerque.
He spent the entire year last year with the Rockies. Basically fastball slider for Kahnle. He brings it pretty good.
One ball, one strike. Lucroy at the plate. Brewers are down 2 in the 7th. And Lucroy over to third. The Gold Glovers got it. Arenado to LeMahieu, throw to first. In time, double play. Aren't many that can turn that one. 2 Gold Glovers involved in that. Arenado to LeMahieu to Paulson. It goes around the horn. A 5-4-3 double play. Maldonado takes out LeMahieu. Double play turn to end the last inning. Hey, the first looping water slide in the country and the largest in the world. The Scorpion's Tail at Noah's Ark is not for the faint of heart. Gravity, water, and centrifugal force propel the rider at speeds up to 40 miles an hour. You won't know which end is up. Scorpion's Tail. I've been there, been on it. Good fun. Good to be connected with Wisconsin Dells this weekend. The Brewers and the Rockies from Denver as we head to the bottom of the 7th. The new pitcher Rock is Michael Blazek.
Yeah, Blazek last pitched on Thursday against the Kansas City Royals. Tossed a scoreless inning. What's new for Blazek? Gave up a hit, struck out a couple of batters. Has been unscored upon in 23 of 28 appearances this year.
Well, the Brewers had a great chance. Had Lucroy at the plate. Walt Weiss brought in his fireballer Tommy Canely, and he gets a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning and end the threat.
That Arenado's something else. He can cover some ground. Not many guys are going to be able to, cover that kind of ground. Go down and catch it. And look at Maldonado's slide. I mean, he's nowhere near second base, and that might have been a double play, regardless of whether Lucroy beat it or not. Really taking out LeMahieu on that play.
Yeah, the fact that Maldonado couldn't reach second base, that even if Lucroy is safe, I didn't see any gesturing by the umpire, but there's no question that could have been an automatic out as it was.
That's a heck of a play, though, by both of them. You mentioned that both of those guys, Gold Glovers, and they show you why right there. Saved his team a run.
Well, Michael McHenry drove in the first Rockies run with a sac fly. That was back in the second inning. He leads off here in the 7th. Michael Blazek in for Kyle Loesch. Loesch goes 6, gives up 3 runs. And a walk to McHenry to start the 7th.
Well, Craig Counsell pushed the button that he thought was going to be the best for him. Unfortunately, Arenado had different ideas. One of the nice things about having Jonathan Lucroy on your bench late in the game, you can pick and choose when you want to put him up there at the plate. Unfortunately, grounded into the double play.
As Daniel Descalso gets a bunt down, Blazek thought about second and will get the out at first. That would have been close at second base, but Blazek will take the sure out.
Take the sure out with the bottom of the order coming up. We got 8 and 9 coming up. Of course, Paulson's in that 9th spot, not the pitcher. Daniel Descalso has always been able to execute very well, doing little things. Remember him with the Cardinals. Another man in scoring position.
That is McHenry with one away. And Blazek will face Brandon Barnes, who walked in the 5th. He was on when Charlie Blackmon went deep off Loesch. Fastball misses. Hey, we want to prop up our buddy, our colleague, Jerry Schimmel, does the Rockies radio. He's not here this weekend because he is on an across-the-country bike ride to raise money for a charity, an orphanage in Haiti. And we certainly want to stand behind him and endorse that. It's called Team Enduring Hope. You can check it out at teamenduringhope.org. Jerry Schimmel and a few others, they're riding their bicycles across America, Oceanside, California to Annapolis, Maryland.
How long does that take?
Well, they're trying to do it in 7 days. 2-man team doing that.
7 days.
So they're going to go from coast to coast, 2 guys alternating in 7 days. TeamEnduringHope.org. Good work. Jerry Schimmel's he's a terrific guy. He is a plane crash survivor.
Yeah.
So quite a story.
That's 450 miles a day. Could you and I do that?
I'm not sure I could drive that in 7 days.
Sounds tiring just to drive it. Yeah.
You know,
good for them.
Back starts to tighten up a little bit sitting in the car. My right foot worked the right calf.
With that trick knee.
Applying the gas pedal. Full count to Brandon Barnes. We got Paulson on deck, who came in on the double switch. Runner at second is McHenry. At a leadoff walk. 3-1 Colorado. Blazek trying to keep the Rockies right there and get the Brewers to the 8th. Little flare into shallow right. Ryan Braun's got a long way to go, but he'll run it down. And it is out number 2. Barnes retired.
Hey, Free Shirt Fridays are back and better than ever this summer. On Friday, June 26th, the Brewers kick off their weekend series against the Twins, and all fans in attendance get a Jonathan Lucroy t-shirt courtesy of Quick Trip. For tickets, visit Brewers.com. Big fan of that t-shirt. That's cool.
Looking forward to the Twins coming to town. Paul Molitor and the Twins.
Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Twins at Target Field.
2 outs. Paulson, the batter. His first at bat of the day. Swings at the first pitch, and that's down, a base hit. McHenry around third. He will score. It's an RBI for Ben Paulson. And the Rockies add to their lead, a 2-out RBI single for Paulson.
Guy can hit a little bit, huh? Paulson in the starting lineup yesterday. A home run away from the cycle was Paulson in yesterday's game, and drives in another one. Not sure Gerardo Parra should have thrown this baseball into home plate. No way he's going to get the out. And Paulson with good base running. He never slowed down around first base and cruises easily into second.
Well, 3 hits last night. Had him in order, too. Single, double, triple in last night's game. And in his first at-bat today, singles in a run. Paulson also drove into yesterday. He makes it a 3-run Rockies lead here in the 7th. Top of the order, here is Blackmon. The Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Blackmon up there with 2 outs in the 5th, and he did not miss. Sends one into the bleachers in right field. Home run number 9 of the year for Charlie Blackmon.
On a changeup up, out over the plate.
And how fast it turned for Loesch. And that one down the right field line. That'll fall a base hit. Coming in is Paulson. Blackmon with an RBI single. And the Rockies have added 2 with 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
And that's why you don't throw into home plate on that base hit by Paulson. Another man in scoring position, throwing to the wrong base, cost the Brewers another run, down by 4 now. Pretty good piece of hitting by Blackmon. Fastball that, missed its spot. It was supposed to be on the outside corner, and Blackmon fought it off down the line and right.
Here's LeMahieu. Well, how about that swing for the Brewers there? You got a chance with Lucroy at the plate, 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Thinking you're going to get greedy for a moment. A double play, however, to end the inning, and then the Rockies come right back with 2 outs and score 2.
And that's what good defense does for you, right? I mean, Arenado and LeMahieu turning a very tough double play, and that's a momentum swing. I mean, the Rockies are thinking they're going to be only up by 1 after the inning's over at best.
There goes Blackmon, and Maldonado loses the handle on the baseball. Stolen base for Charlie Blackmon, and he's in scoring position.
And not only what it does for the Rockies, but kind of deflating for the Brewers if you think about it. Lucroy hits one. He thinks it's going to be in the left field. The Brewers have something going, and 2 runs in, another man in scoring position. Maldi just couldn't find the handle on it.
No balls and a strike. LeMahieu, who is 0 for 3 today.
And Maldi very rarely does this. I mean, had a pretty good pitch to throw on. Problem is, he caught it in the heel of the glove. Kind of couldn't get the handle on it because it was rattling around in the catcher's mitt.
Ground ball to Segura, and that will retire the side, but not before the Rockies score twice. 2 2-out RBI hits, and it's 5-1 Colorado. In that 7th inning from Paulson and Blackman lead it 5-1. We go to the 8th inning now. And our Carsoup.com trivia question: who are the 2 active pitchers to appear in at least 800 games? And let's see who that is. That would be LaTroy Hawkins, warming up the outfielder with a catcher's mitt, and K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez. There's a lot of trade wind blowing around Francisco Rodriguez right now.
Yeah, there are.
And the active leaders, it is LaTroy at 42 years of age, and then Frankie Rodriguez, who's just 33. And then Joe Nathan, who's out for the season.
Troy Hawkins has said this is his last season. Talked to him before the game. Talked to John Axford and LaTroy.
Canely returning for the 8th inning. How's John Axford doing, and how's his boy doing?
Yeah, he's still battling those snake bites from Arizona. I mean,
scary situation.
Probably facing some surgery down the road, but he's doing better. You know, John says that they're very fortunate it wasn't worse. They're keeping their heads up, keeping a positive attitude. And what else would you expect from John Axford?
Axford's youngest son just turned 3 yesterday, and while in spring training this year, ran into a rattlesnake. And the rattlesnake, it was a few bites, I believe. Just
bit him twice.
Can't imagine how traumatized this child was. The snake doesn't know anything about it, obviously, and then the venom from the rattlesnake has done a lot of damage to his tissue around his foot. Segura is out. 1 gone for Canely in this inning. It's been a long, hard process. They actually had him come out and throw a first pitch this year.
Yeah, tough to deal with for everybody, including mom and dad, right? Well, imagine how bad they must feel.
Here's Gerardo Parra now.
Things are moving forward for him.
Yeah, he is improving. He was at the ballpark the other day. He's doing better. Parra slaps one, and Descalso with no chance to make a throw. That'll be an infield hit for Parra. He just dribbled one over there in the hole between short and third. So a man on. 4-run deficit is not much to deal with at Coors Field. If you can get the bats going, you can score some runs in a hurry. Brewers have the right part of the order coming up. Ryan Braun leads our Powerball home run leaderboard. He has 14. Lind hit one today, number 10. Ryan Braun with a man on with 1 away. Braun is 0 for 3. Chad Bettis started. He had a very good day on the mound today. 6 1/3, just 1 earned run.
Well, he allowed 4 fly ball outs. That's how you win at Coors Field. Keep the ball on the ground.
Gave up just 5 hits. Canely has come on. There's a ground ball. Got a chance to turn another one. And again, the Rockies go around the horn. So not just Lucroy, but now Ryan Braun hitting over, heading to the bottom of the 8th in Denver. All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Here we go to the home eighth. Denver, Colorado, the site, Coors Field. Carlos Gonzalez will start it for the Rockies, and in is Francisco Rodriguez. A bit of an unusual spot for him to pitch, but the Brewers haven't been in any save situations here recently, so he's in need of some work.
It's been almost a week. I mean, last time he pitched was Sunday at Miller Park against the Nationals. You can't keep your closer in the bullpen without any work for too long. A 3-up, 3-down inning against the Nationals with a couple of strikeouts. And down by 4, necessary to get him some work.
By the way, we're keeping an eye on the perfect game of Max Scherzer. He is through 8. He is heading back out for the 9th. He's 3 outs away from a perfect game after throwing a 1-hit shutout against the Brewers his last time out.
Amazing, isn't it?
What a performance.
Man.
We will keep you updated. Carlos Gonzalez will be followed by Arenado, and then the pitcher spot due up. Swing and a miss. K-Rod got him chase one.
I would imagine those fans in Washington are going nuts right now, huh?
Now Max Scherzer.
That's against the Pirates.
Right. At Nationals Park. 6-0 is the score as well, so he's got a comfortable lead. Unlike the game at Miller Park last Sunday, where it was 2-0 until the Brewers, until the Nationals scored 2 late in that game. Axford and Holmes loosening, or Axford loosening under the watchful eye of Holmes, the bullpen coach. Probably see him come out for the 9th inning. And Gonzalez sends one deep to right, and it is a foul ball. Hit a ton, but foul.
They can't hit it much harder than that. Wow. A bullet right off the facing. It's just a long strike, right?
Two and two. And down he goes. Gonzalez strikes out. K-Rod with his first K to start the 8th.
And then right back to the changeup. Gonzalez almost hit a changeup out of the ballpark. Came back and threw a good one down in the dirt and got him.
Yeah, buried it at the bottom of the zone. So 1 out. Nolan Arenado now. Big swing and a miss. Down to a knee. Nolan Arenado doubled in the 2nd inning to start the inning, and then he scored the first run. Hot one foul. Had a chance to see Greg Brock here in the booth today, hanging out at
good buddy.
Coors Field.
Lives in Loveland, Colorado, not too far from here. Hasn't changed a bit.
Great seeing him. Former Dodger, former Brewer. Here's the K-Rod 0-2 offering, and did he go? He did not. 1-2 the count.
Rocco doing a lot of hunting, a lot of skiing, and he's managed his money well. Hasn't worked a day in his life.
Don't leisure time.
No. Good friend, and we've been friends a long time. You know, Greg Brack and I actually went up through the minor leagues together, but he was with the Dodgers. Rookie ball all the way through AAA. Same league we played, always saw each other. Ended up playing with each other, or playing on the same team with each other with the Brewers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. K-Rod delivers. Arenado, a little half swing. He goes, and a strikeout for Frankie. Back-to-back Ks. Now Kyle Loesch today giving up 3 runs in 6 innings of work. Our shining moment, courtesy of Marshfield Clinic, racking up some strikeouts here today. Didn't pitch poorly at all. The Brewers just didn't hit for him.
He just made that mistake to Blackman on the changeup. The mistake that he made was walking number 8 hitter. He walked Barnes, and then Blackman came up a couple of batters later and hit the home run. Other than that, he was good.
Rafael Noah pinch hitting here in the pitcher spot, which is now the 5th spot in the batting order. Max Scherzer was a strike away from a perfect game. He hit a batter on a 2-2 pitch.
It was Tabata, right?
Tabata, you're right. He's trying to complete a no-hitter now. He's got 2 outs on the Pirates in Washington. Two outs here in Denver. Back-to-back strikeouts for K-Rod. Noah fouls one away. Maldonado wants it upstairs. And the 0-2 right where he wanted it. Noah fouls it back. Max Scherzer has completed the no-hitter. Chris Heston had the first no-hitter of the year for the Giants. Noah singles up the middle, a base hit. Pinch hit single with 2 strikes. So congratulations to Max Scherzer.
Yeah, 1 hitter and a no-hitter in back-to-back starts.
I wonder if it burns him a little that he was a strike away from a perfect game.
It will. It doesn't right now. I think maybe tomorrow he'll be thinking about the fact that he looked like he hit Tabata, like a backup slider or something like that. But a no-hitter's a no-hitter.
So Jordan Zimmerman threw the first Nationals no-hitter on the last day of the regular season last year, and now Scherzer, the second no-hitter in Nationals franchise history. If it's not for a Carlos Gomez little flare single to right, he just pulled a Johnny Vandermeer. The only pitcher in baseball history to throw back-to-back no-hitters. A 1-hitter and a no-hitter.
And Scherzer gave up that base hit to Gomez and then a walk. That was it. 2 base runners for the Brewers. 1 base runner for the Pirates. Got something.
0-2 the count. And McHenry lays off. So the second no-hitter of the MLB season. That's a great thing about baseball, though. You just never know when one of these historic moments is gonna happen. The 1-2, another one in the dirt. Maldonado keeps it in front.
And no surprise, a guy like Max Scherzer gets a no-hitter, but you never know. Anybody that takes the mound on a given day, you never know when he's going to have perfect stuff. It's one of those days where everything just comes together, and it doesn't have to be a big star. You just have to have it. everything going for you that particular day.
Cooled off the red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates, did Max Scherzer, who have won 8 of their last 10 games. Pittsburgh sitting there 5 games back of the Cardinals starting play today. And a swing and a miss. Frankie Rodriguez strikes out the side in the 8th. So the Rockies go scoreless in the 8th. They lead at 5-1. We go to the 9th. Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. It is 5-1 Colorado. They lead the Brew Crew as we head to the 9th inning here at Coors Field. And history today in D.C. Our AT&T U-verse rewind. 2-2 count, 2 outs to a perfect game. Oh my gosh, he hits Jose Tabata.
It was a slider, got him in on the top of the knee.
And this was the next hitter, Harrison. And he sent it deep, but that's a pitcher park. Michael Taylor able to secure it. Max Scherzer, the second no-hitter of the season in the major leagues. What a moment there at Nationals Park. Congratulations to Max Scherzer. Boy, did he ever place a wager on himself. He turned down huge money by the Detroit Tigers last year, multi-year contract. And then hit free agency, had a great year with the Tigers last year. Signed a massive deal, even bigger deal with the Washington Nationals. And now he has got a no-hitter through a one-hitter against the Brewers with 16 Ks last Sunday. And now a no-hitter here today.
John Axford closing with the Colorado Rockies. He's 12 for 12. Throwing well, has only allowed 1 home run. Gave up 2 runs his last time out. That was Wednesday.
Axford with 12 saves. And had a bit of a slow start. And remember, we told you his son had that injury. As Axford makes quick work of Adam Lynn. So I think the Rockies were just wanting to make sure that Axford was okay. He was still with the team. He was pitching, but his mind was elsewhere.
Right.
Trying to get his son back together. But he settled in and has 12 saves for Colorado. Spent time with the Indians last year. Brewers traded him from in 12 to the Cardinals. He was in that Michael Blazek deal. That's how Blazek got to Milwaukee. He's throwing hard. 97-mile-an-hour fastball hits the edge. Shane Peterson down 0-1.
It's always been, the big deal for Axford is being able to throw strikes, get ahead in the count. And he's able to do that. He could be tough, particularly that big curveball. I would imagine it's more sliders than curveballs. here in Colorado for John Axford.
One ball, two strikes. Shane Peterson looking for his first hit of the day. And a chopper off the plate. Descalso takes a big hop and makes a play in time. 2 outs. Now looking ahead to tomorrow afternoon, our Miller Lite What's on Tap. 2:30 airtime on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Craig and Augie will get you started from the Dells. And it'll be Matt Garza against Chris Russin. Tomorrow afternoon, final game of the road trip. The Brewers finally get an off day Monday, and then back home Tuesday to face the Mets.
You're going to have to a little bounce back from Matt Garza. Six runs allowed against Kansas City. Gave up 13 hits.
Scooter Gennett down in the count 0-2. And the Brewers are down to their last strike. Here's the 0-2. Gennett late again, able to hang in there. Scooter 0 for 3. Tough day for the bats for Craig Counsell. Brewers just couldn't get anything going offensively. Had 6 hits, just 1 run though.
They had chances, but kept rolling into double plays.
Yeah, Lucroy bounced into the 5-4-3 double play in the 7th. That was the killer. 2 on, 1 out. It was a 3-1 game at the time.
0 for 5 with runners in scoring position today with the Brewers.
And the Brewers leadoff hitters today go 0 for 9. Not one leadoff batter reached base. And that's it. Axford strikes out Gennett. And the ball game is over. So this series all even at a game apiece after the Brewers win last night.